Yes, people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. You can see King's Cross there in the background as I am half an hour away from heading back to the Toon. The train is coming in half an hour or so I thought I'd jump on quickly just to include last night's Sky Sports interview. Now, a bit of it was in the vlog, but I was watching it in the pub and having a pint watching it, which was brilliant crack. But I've actually first listened back to myself on the train from Southampton to London there, so this isn't the full interview. Obviously the full interview was about 10 minutes long or something. This is like a 2.5-3 minute clip that was put out by Sky Sports on their socials, so I thought I'd share it with you lot. Nice little prediction in there for me. I mean, getting it right, the 1-0, but in this clip I'm basically bigging up Newcastle's chances of the final, of winning the cup. I'm talking about how I booked my hotel and transport before the Leicester game, before the quarter-final. I had that baby booked. So it's looking good now, something promising. It looks like I haven't wasted a couple £100 because I know a lot of Newcastle fans I was speaking to last night have had that free cancellation thing. Not on mine. Didn't get that on mine because I'm staying in an Airbnb, so I'm not staying in no booking.com free cancellation thing, so I went for it. Do you know what I mean? A couple £100 went for it. Faith in Eddie Howe, so hopefully won't be let down the second leg next week. You wouldn't have thought so. I'm absolutely buzzing for that second leg, can't wait for it. But still buzzing from last night really, still buzzing from last night. What a night. It should have been more, it should have been 2 or 3 to be honest with you. The tie should be put to bed, but confident of Newcastle and Eddie Howe, Nick Pope, all getting the job done and getting through to Wembley, and that scene is just going to be absolutely mental. I'm scared to think of what that's going to be like, but less than me waffling on. Here's the clip. Let us know what you think of it. Drop your comments below and subscribe to the Magpie Channel TV.
Matty Renton from the Magpie Channel. Matty, how you feeling? It's a big night for Newcastle, isn't it?
Tired, Keith. I barely slept last night. I don't know, it must have been the nerves. Do you know what I mean? It feels like a huge game, this for Newcastle United. We know it's only one of 2 legs, but how you start is a big important factor. I think as long as we don't go down too much in this game tonight and we can carry the result into the atmosphere next week at St James's Park, that's what's massive. But bag of nerves.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot hinging on it because it's down to the last 4. But of course, Newcastle's still up there in the top echelons of the Premier League. Do you think the fact that Newcastle are out of the FA Cup, there seems to be more pressure on this one because this is the one chance to try and get some silverware this season?
Perhaps because it is all or nothing tonight, isn't it? In that sense, so there's no other chance to get at Wembley this year if they don't get it this time round. And when you look around the teams that are left in the competition, Forest, Man United and Southampton, what an opportunity it is. And I know myself and thousands of other Newcastle fans have already booked their transport and hotels for London, so hopefully we're not let down because Wembley is beckoning at the end of February, we hope.
That's a bit dangerous, is it not?
It is. It was even before the Leicester game. So it was confidence or stupidity, I don't know, maybe a mixture of both, but I'm very confident Eddie Howe's Newcastle United, the way we're playing, the defence we've got. Why can't we get a Wembley? Come on, Southampton should be focusing on staying up hopefully, but we've seen what they did against Man City, so we can't discredit them too much.
What would be a good result for Newcastle to take back to St James's Park next week?
I think anything less than a 1-0 defeat. You know, even if we got beat 1-0, I'd be very confident of turning things around at St James's, maybe 2-3-0 next week. But tonight, I would say we're going to edge a 1-0, perhaps a 1-1. And like I say, the way the flags will be there next week at St James's, the scarves, you know what the atmosphere is like. It'll be electric. The chance to get to Wembley for the first time in 20 years, we've got to get it done.
And Newcastle have missed out on trophies by the skin of their teeth in the past. That drought I mentioned has gone on for so long. Is there a feeling that this year, this club, everyone that's involved here, is there a feeling it's different?
It definitely feels different. I think we used to go back in the day probably expecting to get beat in a sense because you know the Arsenal teams were coming again, the Manchester United teams. If Eddie Howe versus Eric Ten Hag was the final, I'd back Eddie Howe. I really would. I'd back Nick Pope. I'd back our defence, and I'd back hopefully an Isaac goal or something like that in the final to get us there. But what an opportunity this is when you look at it. I think it's a huge week of significance for Newcastle, to be honest with you, because if we get used to getting the finals, the quicker the better, because that's what the owners want, the club want, what the fans crave.
Matty Renton from the Magpie Channel.